Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In the quiet Shropshire village of Acton Burnell, where the air often feels heavy with the scent of damp stone and ancient history, stands St Mary's Church. This lovely, quiet site feels less like a local parish and more like a private chapel of the high medieval elite. This is a nod to one of the 13th century's most formidable men. Enter Robert Burnell. He wasn't just a local lord, he was the Lord Chancellor of England and the Bishop of Bath and Wells. He was the right-hand man to King Edward I, and his wealth is written into every joint of the church's red sandstone masonry. The church was built between the years of 1275 and 1280, designed to be the spiritual anchor for his adjacent castle, which, if you stick around after this video, we have our full walkthrough of the incredible Acton Burnell Castle coming up. So, because Burnell was the Lord Chancellor, he had access to the very best craftsmen in the county, which shows in every shadow and stone. Whilst the castle was built to impress the king, who famously held parliament in a nearby barn here in 1282, the church was built to secure Burnell's soul. The architecture here is a masterclass in the early English style, transitioning into the more decorative flourishes of the later medieval period. There are several things of interest inside this beautiful church, one being the east window, and if you look closely you might notice the slender Purbeck marble, a luxury material brought all the way up from Dorset. This was a clear sign of the bishop's immense wealth. You might also notice that beneath your feet, especially in the north transept, there are original 13th century floor tiles, worn smooth by 700 years of footsteps, and the faint red rosettes in the south transept giving off a slight glimpse into the ghostly remains of the 13th century wall paintings that would have made this space feel alive and vibrant in the Middle Ages. The interior is the gallery of Shropshire's historical heavyweights and the silent residents. In the north transept lies the tomb of Sir Nicholas Burnell. It holds what many consider the finest monumental brass in Shropshire. It's a full-length, life-sized image of a knight, complete in plate armour, resting his feet on a lion. The detailing is so crisp that you can see the individual rivets in his gauntlets. On the opposite wall, the vibe shifts to the Elizabethan era. You might notice the massive, colourful alabaster tomb of Sir Richard Lee and his wife. Interestingly, Sir Richard Lee was an ancestor of the American Civil War general Robert E. Lee, and every year a small number of American historians make the pilgrimage to this quiet Shropshire corner to see where the family line began. Below the Lee effigies, you'll see the 9 daughters and 3 sons carved into the base, a beautiful stone portrait that has survived for over 400 years. And interestingly, this church hides smaller marks of human presence and craftsmanship. If you get up close and personal, run your hands along the nave and you might feel the individual signatures of the medieval stonemasons. These geometric symbols in the form of crosses, stars and triangles were how the craftsmen marked their finished work to ensure that they were paid. Then you may also notice the simple 15th century oak bench ends, which are normally replaced during the Victorian era, but here they are, rugged, beautiful, and so fitting for this church. Something we have never seen before is what's known as a squint. Look for the chancel wall at the small square opening. This almost window through the stone allowed those not permitted in the main service, such as lepers or the socially excluded, to see the priest elevate the host during Mass. The chancel, which is in the area around the altar, is disproportionately grand for a small village church. This is because it was essentially Robert Burnell's private stage. You might notice the sedilia, which are the freestone seats, recessed into the wall for the priests. They are carved with dogtooth moulding, which was a hallmark of the 13th century. It is likely that when Burnell entertained King Edward I next door at the castle, the king more than likely sat within these very walls, surrounded by the very best craftsmanship England could offer. The light pouring in through the tall lancet windows would have caught the glint of the gold vestments, creating a scene of medieval theatre. St Mary's Church survives today as an unspoiled space, because the village of Acton Burnell never grew into a major town. The church wasn't expanded or heavily altered to fit a growing population. It remains a 13th century time capsule and is certainly worth shouting about. So that's it for this video. We hope you've enjoyed seeing this unexpected, charming church. So we'll see you on the next one. Till next time.